The Fed has started decreasing interest rates over the last little bit. What that means is lower rates on bank accounts, savings accounts, bonds, and it oftentimes means lower rates on loans like mortgages. This isn't always the case just based on how they work, but at the end of the day, we have started to see interest rates come down. So for a lot of people who've bought a house in the last year like myself, we're starting to think about refinancing. What refinancing really is you get a new loan at a new interest rate. So if you bought at 7 or 7.25 or even 7.5, right now you basically have the opportunity to refinance down to 6%. I want to walk you through how to think about this decision. You don't want to continually refinance. Sure, if every couple years rates decline and you can save quite a bit, it makes sense, but you don't want to rush into this. You don't want to refinance right now and then refinance again in March and then refinance again in the middle of the year and then refinance again at the end of the year. And there's a few reasons why. The first one is the cost. Every time you refinance, you basically pay to do it. This could be $3,000, $5,000, $7,000, $9,000. And what they will say is it's okay, you can just roll it into the mortgage. Well, if you did that 4 times, you added a ton to that mortgage. You have to make sure that you're gonna break even on that amount. The other reason is that every time you refinance, it restarts that amortization clock. So it's back to 30 years. Let's think about how to actually make this decision. I have an example here of a situation I've talked about with a client. The house is $1.2 million. They have $240,000 down and they got an interest rate of 7.25%. What that means is that the principal and interest payment is $6,548 a month. They're excited. They see that interest rates are going down and now they can refinance at 6%. If they were to refinance at 6%, the principal and interest payment would be $5,775. The moral of the story is they would save about $800 a month. The way that you look at this is that you have to think about what are those closing costs. So let's say closing costs were $12,000. If you're gonna save $800 a month, then per year, you're gonna save $9,600. Basically, it's about 14 to 15 months of living in that house for you to break even on it. So if you say, hey, we plan to buy a new house and move next year, you wouldn't do it. If you're planning to live there for 3, 4, 5, 10 years, refinancing makes sense because the savings are greater than the cost to refinance. But let's say it's on the flip side, right? You have the opportunity to refinance. It's going to save you $400 a month, but it's going to cost you $10,000 to do, and you're only going to live there for 2 years. You're basically at a break even, or it's going to cost you a little bit more to do this. So the easy answer is no, of course I wouldn't refinance. To be honest, refinancing really is this simple. You want to look at it as break even time to cover the cost of the refinance. It's that simple. As you see rates going down today, there's a few things that you want to get right. The first one is just that break-even analysis. Are you going to save money and do you plan to live there long enough? Obviously, life happens. You might get a new job. There might be some reason that you end up having to move. And if you end up losing a little bit because of that, that's just part of life, right? It was an unpredictable thing. Take your best guess here. What are the odds that you move soon? And are you going to have that break even? As long as you are, then it does make sense to refinance. But the second thing that you want to think about is, where do you think interest rates are going? I don't know, right? Nobody knows the answer to this, but most people think that, hey, if the Fed's going to continue to decrease rates more this year, more next year, odds are likely that mortgage rates will end up going down over that period of time. You might want to wait, right? You don't want to refinance now and then all of a sudden they're 1% lower 4 months later and you have to pay another $5,000 to $10,000 of closing costs just to refinance. Don't rush into this decision. If you do think rates are going to continue to go down, wait so you don't have to do this multiple times. The third one is, how do you want to tack your mortgage after you do this? So one thing that I see all the time is people talk about the negative of refinancing because it restarts that 30-year mortgage. So if you're 7 years in, you're going all the way back to that 30-year period of time. The odds are that you're going to save quite a bit of money, or at least some money on what that monthly mortgage cost is going to be. And so there's a few options here. One of them is keep paying the same payment. If you're refinancing to a lower rate, that's a win. You can keep paying the exact same payment that you had before, but now you're going well above that principal and interest payment and you're actually attacking that equity quicker. The other thing that you could do is you could just say, how much would it cost per month for me to pay this off at that 23-year timeline? If you really don't want to restart it, you can do that. The advantage is that, hey, if you're having a hard period of time, your income's down, you could always reduce that monthly payment back down to whatever the principal and interest payment is. Just slow down for that period of time. And that's a huge reason I like 30-year mortgages versus 15. You can always pay it off in 15 years if you want to. Sure, you have a slightly added interest cost because 15-year mortgages come with slightly lower interest rates, but you have the flexibility to make those decisions as you go. Refinancing is something that's going to be available to a lot of people who bought recently. If you bought and you have 2, 3, 4% mortgages, I don't really think you're going to have any refinancing opportunities anytime soon. If you bought at 6.5, 7, 7.5, or even slightly higher, I do think you're going to have refinancing opportunities coming up. But don't rush into it. Do the math, look at the break-even analysis, and then make an informed decision. The goal is that you're refinancing once, or maybe every few years as opportunities come. Not that you do it 4 times over the next year. That's going to incur a lot of costs to you that are not needed. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and go follow my page for more personal finance content. And as always, if you have any thoughts, please leave it in the comments below, and I promise to get back to each individual comment. See you next week.